Hi everyone. Well, almost a couple of hours into the trading day on Wednesday, the ASX 200 is only just hanging on to some gains of around 0.1%. We were up quite a bit more than that earlier, so we certainly are seeing markets fading a bit from a better start, but it does follow a positive lead from Wall Street and also does follow a slight decline for our market yesterday. So look, market's a little sluggish perhaps in the last couple of days. We did hear from the Reserve Bank yesterday, which actually surprised many economists by reiterating plans to start reining in some of its stimulus from September, despite the lockdowns in Greater Sydney in particular. So economists were expecting those plans to be pushed out, reversed, or at least revised, and it wasn't really the case. But despite that, markets, have broadly done quite well for a while. We hit a record high on Monday, which was the best day in 6 weeks, and we've just had 10 months of gains as well. Now, on the COVID front, Victoria, encouraging numbers there with no new cases over the past day, but Queensland has had 17, and also the number of locally acquired cases in Greater Sydney has jumped back up to 233, even though we've had, 5 whole weeks of lockdowns, and that's now continuing for all of August as well. That's certainly still a real concern for our market. But for the most part, it's been put to one side and other things have been focused on instead by investors. Now, today we've got gains from miners in particular, specifically iron ore producers like BHP, which is up 1.8%, not far from last week's record high. We've got Rio and Fortescue also up. Lithium producers like Pilbara Minerals is also up about 5.5%, and CBA and consumer staples like Woolies and A2 Milk are also doing nicely. Now, Air New Zealand is down 0.5%. It flagged some larger losses for the year because of the suspension of the Trans-Tasman travel bubble in July, just of course due to the pandemic affecting a number of different states and territories. REA Group is up 0.5%. This is the company that owns realestate.com.au. So today it completed the sale of its operations in Malaysia and Thailand to a group called Property Guru, and in exchange it will receive an 18% equity stake in that company. We also had GUD Holdings down about 3%. Now, this is a group that sells and makes car, pool and spa systems and products. Both revenues and profits have jumped. The dividend significantly higher than last year, but its shares are still down. Perhaps that had something to do with the fact that it's refused to provide guidance due to lockdowns for the year ahead. And finally, Genworth is up 9%. This is a provider of lenders mortgage insurance, returned to profitability, making close to $60 million over the 6 months to June. That compares to a $90 million loss a year earlier. So certainly receiving a boost from the housing market boom, and that has meant a lift in the number of people requiring lenders mortgage insurance. So these are basically people who have deposits that are a little too small to get approval by banks. The Aussie dollar finally is at 73.9 US.